Hey folks, we're live. It's Friday. Hope you've all had a good week. My week has been pretty good. Can't complain at all. It's been a little bit, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's dragged. Maybe it's not been as interesting as it could have been. But it's been better than, it's better than some weeks, and that's a bonus. I'm liking this, it's a 3-hour YouTube thing I'm playing now, with a little bit of jazz penguins apparently. So hopefully that's coming through just a little bit on the low volume, just to hide any kind of ambient sound. Might turn it up a little bit. Make sure my ears turn down. Probably about there. So it's underneath it all. Just a little, take the silence away. Yeah, hope you've all had a good week. We're doing Unity as usual. Working on my serial game. Does my keyboard decide to go to sleep? I'm going to have to modify this keyboard, I think, because the battery in it does not last very long. It's a 2000 milliamp, which I suppose it's only supposed to last a week. And I do use it throughout the week, so I should really plug it in when I'm not using it. It's my own fault. Let's turn the jazz down a little bit in my ear, because I only want it to be in the background myself. Let's make sure I've got all my links and whatnot open. Looking good here. Right, we'll switch over to the main screen, show you folks what we are. If you were here last stream, we are working on a conversation mechanic, like a little a mechanic that allows characters to talk and have the triggers in place and the visualization things of what's going on. So we have one NPC here at the moment. So we're going to work on this guy. Get him saying things at the right points. Now, I've not done any research into this. I've not really looked up standards or recommendations. So this is me kind of making a best guess at a solution, which typically is my go-to for a lot. Most of this game is my best guess at a solution. Me looking up how I go about said solution, and not really what the solution is. At some stage, I might look at what other people do and decide at that point, okay, actually that's a better idea, or you know what, I like what they're doing, but I think we can combine ideas here and actually work on something like that. Let's just mute my mic and move it slightly. There we go. This finger is casting a little bit of a shadow. We can't have shadows here. Right, so let's familiarise myself with what's going on, because I am only doing this one day a week. So I never really. I should start making notes again. I was making notes in the Discord. If you know on my Discord, the link is that way. Yeah, the link is over that way somewhere. And I was dropping dev updates and notes for this project in there, but it's not been updated for a little while. So we have a conversation trigger. There's this kind of circle here. Whoops. This circle here, and it's got a capsule collider, which is a nice little dome kind of collider, which is probably perfect for this idea here. And it's got my code already attached, the conversation trigger code. And I'm going to have a list of characters loaded into this character variable, this character listing down here. You're probably just about to see that, yeah. And that's going to be populated by a conversation object. So we're going to have a conversation object with the conversation content, and then this trigger will read that conversation object and then find out who the participants are, which characters are in this conversation, load it in here, and when either of those characters hit this trigger point, start the conversation. It's probably a little bit clunky. There's probably better ways of doing it, but this is the way I've come up with, and I will research it later as to better methods for each of my mechanics that I've designed from the ground up. But it's better to kind of learn how to do it wrong and then learn how to do it right, because you realise why the right way to do things is the right way, and not just because someone decided that. I shall minimise that, keep that open. But yeah, I'm sure there's a plethora of information out there of best practices for such things. But I'm going to go with this for now. So we have a conversation trigger. So do I have that open in my... So we've got conversation. Let's get conversation trigger open as well. So here's a trigger script. So when it starts up, it grabs unique characters, and that is this function here. So conversation, which is what I've dropped in there. So it pulls it from that, drops it into there. Then on collision enter, it if it's one of the characters in the conversation, and it hasn't started the conversation, so that's basically more than one character enters the trigger, the conversation has already started. There's no point starting it again. And if it's been started once, then it can't be restarted, like if they leave it and come back again. So that will set the trigger as true. Then play next dialogue. So we'll go to conversation. So play next dialogue. So if it's already playing, well, if it's not already playing, then see if current dialogue number is less than the total conversation. Increment the dialogue to say, okay, we're moving on the conversation. Load the next bit of dialogue audio. Play the audio. So that's the dialogue. The text needs to be played to the characters. So we've not written that yet. This commented piece here is my original idea for the script. We've got a get count, so when it starts up it will just find out how long the conversation is. So we do need to bring out the text, conversation text. Now, how have I decided we're doing this? So, it's character game objects. So we're going to drop the characters into there. Now, this could be, you can have the same character multiple times, based on who says what. Probably an easy way of doing this, but we'll go with this for now. We can refactor it later. So I should probably have more than one person with the conversation bubble above their head, so we can actually have a back and forth. So let's go to his folk. So the village man person here. So he's got the canvas speech bubble. So. And there's our Robin Hood Ranger guy here. He's a bard. There's a bard here. So So he's got nothing else inside his whole thing. So we'll copy this, copy, and we'll paste it on the bard. So he now has a conversation as well. Cool. We have two guys with conversations. So in theory, if they both walk along, both these canvases should point at the camera. Now I have a feeling if I run it now, I've got too much. Oh no, because it's not going to. Well, let's find out. Let's find out what's going to break. Only way to find out. We'll run it. If it breaks, and we know it's yeah, we've got red text there. But these two are kind of pointing at the camera. It's not slightly differently. This is probably better. They're both pointing at the camera here. It's not the cleanest, I have to admit. I'll probably have to have the camera zoom down there more if I'm going to do this. And I'm probably going to have to flip the box. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to handle this with the cameras further away. Whether the boxes need to be bigger, so we can actually see what they are. Okay, so we did get a red text here, so object reference not set to instance directory. That's understandable. I've got things. Yeah, so it's basically looking for something that doesn't have. So what I could do, and what I probably should do, is put a null check. Say, is there an object here? Is there a conversation assigned? If there isn't, we should really escape that function and go, well, there isn't something to assign here, just carry on. Well, I could leave the text in because something should always be assigned. There should always be a conversation there. So in some ways it's probably better, but maybe I'll not have an error, but a caution warning alert out to the console that I can read, but it's not going to affect the operation. Oh, that's a lovely cup of tea. Yeah, so let's have a look. So conversation, we want to do a check on conversation. So let's put an if in here. So what we're doing is if conversation. Now, do we have something in here that we can use without doing checks? Enable to destroy objects. It's a shame it doesn't show the context menu without capturing the entire screen, to my knowledge. Name print run in edit mode. Ooh. Set trigger, no. So equals null. Here's that thing. Yeah. Oh, yes. We're not writing VB now, are we? Or SQL. So let's move this. Move this into the house. So if it's null, we want it to warn Wanted to warn the editor, I suppose. Was it debug dot log? And we want it to let's say missing conversation. Missing conversation. There we go. So at least that would be in the log to go, if I go, hang on a minute, where's it gone? And go, oh, it's missing conversation. So we will run that, and we know that that's covered for any future triggers then. So it's better to have a little bit of error catching, because things are bound to happen. But sometimes errors, you don't want to catch an error, because having an error means you know something's gone wrong. So you shouldn't really have errors. So if we run that, I should see that come up as conversation, missing conversation down here. There you go, missing conversation. Now if I double click on that, it comes back to here. It probably won't tell me so much in the but we're aware of that. Okay. Let's find the main camera. Now again, I've not really done the main camera the right kind of way. Because rather than making the main camera a child of an object, it's going to be better to have the main camera completely independent and have its position change to match whatever it's moving around. Waypoint route, waypoint driver, because the camera's in here, it shouldn't really be in there. I show the camera externally, but maybe connect them via some other process. So waypoint driver will probably find the main camera and then move the main camera, as opposed to just moving and the camera goes with it. That's going to be the better way to handle that. But for now, let's give myself a little bit more. That angle's probably a bit better there. I'm liking this jazz, it's nice. Okay, so that's looking a bit better there. So for this area, I'm going to have it hide the dialogue windows as they're going back and forth with the conversation. Okay, but we could try making the better camera setup. So we've saved it. Let's move the camera out of here, so the camera's there. So if we play it, it's not going to move. But so the waypoint driver script. Let's have a look at that. Waypoint driver. Low or low. Let's make a separate. We can multiple scripts. We can multiple scripts, so we don't actually want to make it part of something specific. Let's make a camera follow script. Let's make a brand new script. C# script. Camera follow. Of a camera follow script, we can attach that as well. So we can apply this script to any object and it will do the same thing. The thing is, if multiple things could have the camera follow script attached, I need to work out a way of only making sure one of them is active at any one time. But we'll get to that. So camera follow script, let's get this open. So it's going to need serialized field. Oh, this is good. I do like Visual Studio's called IntelliSense AI. It just guessed I wanted the camera. How good is that? So when it starts up, we want to find what that camera is. So underscore camera equals get component camera. Close. Now we're gonna want, it's not get component, but we're gonna want to find the main camera. We do have a script for that already, don't we? We do have a searching feature. It is in the... Hey Cobbler, how's it going? Hello Hug Junkie. Panda. Now lurking, never be missed. Enjoy your lurk. I see you're live. Hope your live's going well. Looks interesting what you're making. But, thank you very much. Okay, so I do have some code here. I think it's in the waypoint. Let's have a look. Waypoint. Let's look at waypoint. Waypoint camera. Waypoint camera. Maybe not. I suppose the camera's attached at that point. Yeah, struggling with a hydraulic arm. Yeah, I had a feeling it was. I think I've seen tutorials for hydraulic arms. I've not tried it myself, but I like the whole piston thingy. It looks cool. Wish you all the best. But it's certainly something I would like to try myself, just because of the knowledge I should gain from such things. Yeah, first time doing a proper one. Awesome. I'm sure you'll get it. But yeah, I want us to do mechanical stuff in Blender. I want to actually have machinery, moving parts, and it's very cool making just objects and other assets, but I want to have something that's kinetic. That's going to be fun to do. No, I thought I had, maybe I had the code and then I removed it. Thanks for lurking on and off. No problem, do your thing. Do your thing and yeah, enjoy the learning process. Waypoint came. Yeah, so this is all passive. There's nothing. I did have. Is it actually on the driver? No, okay, I think I must have had the code and decided it'd be easier to write it another way, which is fine. I know it probably is, it's in a speech bubble, isn't it? I think it's in a speech bubble. There it is. Camera equals camera dot all cameras bracket camera length -1. So that's always the last camera. Always the last camera. Okay, so this is what I want. It's basically that. So it's not the waypoint driver, camera follow. So it is this. I knew I had it somewhere. So it'd be camera 0. So if that gets the right camera, we'll leave it at that actually, leave it at that. And we'll put the camera follow script on to the waypoint driver. And we'll see if it picks up the right camera first. Camera follow, let's drop this on here. Okay, so I follow what this does. In theory, that should pick up the main camera if it works, and then we'll follow on with the rest of the code. Main camera, awesome. Off they go on their adventure. We're going on an adventure. Yeah, we'll catch up with you guys shortly. Right, so it picks up the main camera, the right camera. For now, I suppose it's a start. It's going to pick up the only camera that's active. None of the other cameras are active. So that works. We like that. So on update, probably on fixed update. Yeah, per frame. Per frame's going to be better. We want to move the XY of the camera to match the XY of the object it's following. So let's go camera dot transform dot not quite transform dot position equals transform position. Now that's not entirely correct, because we only want the X and the Y. So I go dot X and dot X. Okay, it's not available. So what we shall do, we'll leave that in there. So we will make a vector 3. So equals new vector 3. So we want dot x Let's actually, we could probably do it here. Let's go vector 3. Let's call it v3. We'll go okay, vector 3. Let's do that. I'll change just to v3, and rather than camera.transform, let's go transform.position. And that's just be v3 dot x, comma v3 dot y, comma. I'll put 0 and just keep that happy. But what we actually want let's call that f, v3f, v3f, v3f. So vector v3c for the camera forward. And we'll just grab the position of the camera. So what we actually want here is v3c dot z. So we want the z from the camera, but the x and the y from whatever it's following. Now that will be that's going to be on top of it, isn't it? So it will follow it. Well, it's not going to be following, but it's going to be on top of it. So we want the camera to remain the same distance from the object, but the same angle, the same distance. So we don't want it to point at it. So maybe I need to set an offset. So I can find out the distance between the two, because I now have these two variables. So I can find out the distance, the difference between the x's, the y. Because it needs to be able to move both directions, yeah. So it's not like I can make one static. It needs to be able to move inwards, outwards and side to side, but not up and down. So let's have a quick look on the editor. Just remind myself which one's which directions. That's not good. Let's do it by so that's there. So 90.03, 94, and that's 0.25, 0.25. So it is the x. X is across the screen in this case. Y is depth. So in this instance, we want the y distance to remain the same. Serialized field. Oh, Boolean is following. Could be useful, but not right now. Like we can turn the following on and off. Yeah, let's do that. We'll put that in there. I like that suggestion. Yeah, it is following true. And we'll put it in here because that's a redundancy thing we can use later if need be. If it is following, do all this business here. So it means I can turn it off. Good thinking, Visual Studio. I like it. Not what I was quite after, but go for another serialized field. Private. What's the other go for? Oh, distance. So it is the Y distance, which is going to be a float. Let's call it dist Y, which equals 0 for now. We want to find out what the distance. Let's find it in the update. We'll grab that and we'll put it outside the if statement. Do we need to put it outside the if statement? Because it's going to be grabbing them. Yeah, let's leave it inside the if statement. We'll grab those two. Let's put an if inside here. Now that's guess there. It's not bad. Oh, good. Well, if it equals it, stop following. I like your thinking, Visual Studio. It's not quite what I'm going for. This isn't a catch situation, but it might be good for an NPC that chases after something. Once it catches it and stops following. But no, I'm not going to use that. Thank you for the suggestion, though, Visual Studio. Now, the if statement I want is if dist y is, hey Jackson, how's it going? Hope you're having a good Friday, had a good week. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. So if this y, so it could be the other way around. We have to think of this as being fairly universal. You don't want to go too crazy, but I could, without considering other things, I could say if distance y is 0. But is it going to ever be, put enough in there to keep happy? We'll have to think what instances it might happen that we might want to check that it's not quite 0. I'll have a think of that. Doing good. What type of game are you making? So this is my first kind of proper go at a game. Let's save that, come back into Unity. Wait for it to finish compiling. Awesome. So I'm making a basic physics, let's call it physics based what should we call it, puzzle. The premise of the game, I'll save this here. This is probably over engineering. None of this is in the playable part of the game. This is purely cutscene. So I'm working on cutscene mechanics at the moment, but if I show you the actual game, it's probably, compared to the effort I put into the cutscene, the rest of it's quite disappointing. So I need to up my game on the actual levels. So we got a great visual. So I'm making a game where you fire solid objects at a building. The building has a series of invisible targets on a grid. Once you've hit all the targets, the building falls down, you win the level. So basically you're trying to pull the building down using a medieval style trebuchet, which the player can kind of move side to side and then apply power to. And yeah, and as the levels progress, there's bigger targets and so forth. But I thought I'll make a little narrative cutscene to explain why. I didn't need to. A game doesn't need a reason. But I thought, you know, I'd test my skills. Let's make a cutscene. That's cool. I use Unreal Engine. I use Blueprint mode because I'm a beginner. That's cool. Yeah, blueprints are awesome. Not just for beginners, but generally plugging things together. That's one of the great advantages of Unreal. There isn't anything in Unity that I've seen without some plugins necessarily. You can do visual scripting in Unity. But my day job is this. This software here, the Visual Studio, is my day job anyway. So this, I'm very comfortable with this. So it makes sense to use a game engine that uses my day job. So in actual fact, this is just me trying to put pretty visuals to my understanding of coding. But yeah, the principle of the game is simple. Throw rock at building, building falls down. And I'll show you level 2. Level 2 is bigger buildings. More things. I need to decorate. This is basically me throwing a level together very quickly. I've already built the mechanics that I can throw levels together quickly. Because show castle. Where is my... It's been so long since I've actually looked at... Oh yeah, let's break this down. Yeah, you can't really see it on stream probably, but there's a green invisible... if I put the mesh render on... There we go. That grey panel there is a spawning grid. It doesn't do anything by itself, but it actually spawns the targets on the building. So I don't actually write any... I don't physically put targets on the building. The code does all that for me. I just tell it, fill this entire grey panel with targets, but don't show the player where the target... Well, the targets are there, but don't actually show the targets until the player hits it. When the player hits it, it spawns a crack on the building, so the player knows they've already hit it there. And all these assets I bought on Humble Bundle, just to get myself going. Apart from this wasn't animated, this was a static asset, so I've had to put this in Blender and animate the whole thing. But yeah, that's... Yeah, don't save it, there's nothing on there. But I thought, you know, let's make this little village scene. All these are same pack from Humble Bundle. Brilliant pack, so many cool objects in it. So just, yeah, working out how to make two NPCs talk to each other, basically. That's what I'm doing right now. How do you know how to make an object or camera move using keyboard input on Blueprint mode? I'm stuck. I'm not too sure about Blueprint mode. I'm not going to be able to help you too much on that. I know about it, I've never used it. I can tell you in Unity, because I'm actually writing the code here of cameras. So you've got the right sort of idea. It's fine, that's okay. There's bound to be tutorials out there. Just Google or go to YouTube with the very simple premise: make camera move using keyboard input. Blueprints. There's bound to be a very quick tutorial. Most of the stuff I know, I've like Googled and found somebody asking that question, or a 2-3 minute YouTube thing. This is how you make a character do this, or this is how you make the screen flash, or yeah, oh okay, that makes sense. But I'm actually writing a camera moving script right here, and this script is just getting the camera. So I've got a bit of script that just looks at all the cameras in the game, finds camera 0, which is the main camera, saves it, just noting that it's now following, finding the position of what's being followed, find the position of the camera, and now I'm writing the bit that moves the camera to the thing it's following. So as this moves, it moves the camera, kind of thing, but in a less janky kind of way. So it'd be a similar process of like getting the XYZ position of what's being followed, and the XYZ of the camera, changing the camera XYZ to match XYZ of what is being followed. You don't want it exactly because the camera will be on top of the object. So I'm now writing code to go, okay, I want the camera to always be this distance away. And then as this moves, it'll always move within that kind of distance. So you're looking at 3 numbers, X, Y, and Z. So that's the basics. So Blueprint might have something for you to change the X, Y, Z of an object. So you're just changing the X, Y, Z of the camera to accordance to what you're following. So that's the basics, I'm guessing. May the gods shower you with blessings on this day, my gentle soul. Well, greetings to you, Jeffrey. How are you? I hope you've had a good week. Hope you're feeling better. Have you been playing with your amp? Been playing some tunes, bit of music. Yes, lots of visitors today. Oh, what they're visiting? Like friends, family visitors, or dog visitors? The visitors you wanted, or the visitors you'd rather not have? 2 people from Rottweiler Club had a pup with them. Another friend from the Rottweiler Club, the lady gave me 31 LPs. Oh, nice. Awesome. Dog friends. Yeah, friends with dogs. Always a good friend. We had my brother's dog over today. I was trying to eat my lunch, so I always come home from work for lunch. Eating my lunch, and he was sat under the table waiting for me to drop anything. Unfortunately for him, I had actually finished eating by the time he turned up, so joke's on him, there was no food to drop in the first place. He didn't know that. He got lost of us though. Auntie came after 1 year, had some... why does that cut the conversation? Had some fear of long drives due to some mental shit. She had some bad years and finally go to the coaching camp. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I can't imagine that something obviously has happened that's put her off the idea of long driving. I'm glad she's worked through that. She the aunt that lost an 18-year-old son. Her strength. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's could be hard on anybody. I suppose being close to home is probably comforting for her. So an hour's drive. That's an hour away from her security, her home, her safe area. House full, I bet. Yeah. Well, I think it's been a good day. Not too draining. I find being around a lot of people draining, and I just want to be by myself in silence, and sort of just kind of breaking away from all that, just to kind of relax from people. As much as I love being around people, people stress me. Unless those people are super chill, and then super chill people help me be super chill. It's the high energy people that drain my energy. So I feel I have to be high energy to meet with the high energy people. So I basically burn off my energy trying to keep up with them. That's a good thing. Nix is quite a low energy person. We're both low energy, and we get on well for that. I like being low energy. Just chilling, having a cup of tea, listening to music, watching favourite shows and all that. That's good relaxing nature. Um, 17 5-month-old male. They took with them. They have 9 adult Rottweilers at home. 9. You remember that video of me getting bitten while wearing the arm and the professional dude throwing me towards... Yes, yeah. That's the dude that visited with his wife. Very active in dog sport. Nice. 9 Rottweilers though. They can't all be in the house, surely. They would have nowhere to sit. It'd be the Rottweiler's home and they'd be just living in it. How do you get 9 any dog in the house is quite bad. Even the smallest of dogs, 9 dogs. Big property, old horse stables where made room for dogs. Awesome, yeah. 3 inside, 6 in stables. That's cool. Yeah, because I bet it was probably you don't break in then, no. Yeah, if you break in, you don't leave. Well, not in any resemblance to the way you went in anyway. You'll probably go out in several small bags. I am liking this jazz music. I'm going to have to make a note of this YouTube video. It's probably just about quiet on the stream, but I'm enjoying it. Right. So I need to record the distance the camera is currently from what I am following. So to do that, the distance I'm keeping is Y, like the Y parameter. So if I go dist Y equals, yeah, okay, that's not far from it, so. But then let's go minus v3c, so dot y. So we basically want the distance between the two. Hi Sally Motes. Hey Lisa, how's it going? Hope you're having a good week. Look at all those awesome emotes. They are some of the best emotes on Twitch, those are. And the lady also visited, trains one of their dogs. They simply don't have time for 9, no. Like, training a single dog must be... I've never trained a dog. I've done like training with a dog. Like participated, but I've never trained, like primary train. Yeah, definitely won't have enough time for all 9 of them. The best emotes on Twitch indeed. Spectacular emotes. Superb emotes. Epic. Just going for all the sounds of Mortal Kombat. So when they come over, she wanted to be there as well. She lives close. Awesome. Thank you, thank you. She happens to be friends with my aunt. Ooh, that's cool. So it's chain reaction of people able to come here. So basically your house has been a hub of Rottweiler appreciation, just kind of all gathering. And family, of course. Yeah, it's usually the way it goes. If you're having a gap, like people over, you might as well make an event of it and just get all the visitors out in one go. Just everyone turn up and then do away with it. No more visitors. That's basically what birthdays are here. Every time anyone in this house has a birthday, it's like everyone turns up and then we don't see them again until the next birthday. Although we didn't actually have people over for my birthday this year, because I was out and about, so I did my birthday away from the house. My mother had everyone over for her birthday though, so that was quite nice. We had the grill outside, doing some burgers and sausages, and I made potato salads, and I did the homemade burgers, homemade sauce. I did caramelized onion, It was lovely. Really like cooking. Especially when there's a lot of people, I can cook for many people. Okay. So let's see if I've got this the right way around. I could probably think it through. But we're just going to go raw and just go... Oh, excuse me. Gassy tea. So if it's follow object minus camera, we have that minus on that. Should keep the distance. Let's find out. We'll save it. We'll run the code. We might get some hilarious results. That's what game dev's about. Seeing crazy stuff happening. Aunt stays over. She can't handle driving twice. Oh no. No, that's fair. No, I need to stay over places more. I'm one of these people that like to drive to and from a place in the same day and then regret it for the following few days afterwards. I did that for my work barbecue the other Friday. Not last Friday, but the Friday before. Yeah, I regretted doing that because it took me most of the week to recover. It wasn't strictly from that, it was from other things happening the same week, but I didn't get back up to full strength until like a week later. But that was 7 hours total driving in one 24-hour period. Poor Nix and their sister did the total of about 8 hours driving this week. So that was a 4-hour trip there, 4-hour trip back in the same day. That's quite harsh. Right, we'll save it in case it pops. We don't like it when Unity pops. Right, run it and see what happens to the camera. This might go crazy, it might go well. It's working. Look at that. Now, what I've not considered is the X offset. I've done the Y offset. The Y is always the same. I should really do an X offset because it was back slightly. But it's following, the camera's following at the same distance. It's just that it's moved forward to line up with the character, whereas I want it to be back so it sees some of the characters behind. So that's working. We're liking that. I drank and ate too much today though. I was on a health streak. Well, rip that this week. Oh dear. So it happens. I've been trying to be on a health streak so many times, and there's one day okay, yeah, something yeah, the way that camera's working, it's not quite there. We're gonna, yeah, so many weeks now I've been trying to be healthy, and something happens. Maybe there's food presented to me that I go, oh, that's something I've not had for a while, or I really fancy that, and I just don't have a little bit. I go, I like a lot of this because I've not had it for so long. I don't drink alcohol very often, but if you give me an opportunity to drink alcohol, I will have at least two drinks, maybe a third, depending how long I'm drinking for, which in grand scheme of things it's not a lot. But that's a lot of sugar that I don't normally have. I have some alcohol and I'm more likely to have things like crisps or chocolate or other kind of stuff. Not drunk, but I don't know how much. Yeah, that's fair. It's all sugar. It's all sugar at the end of the day. Any alcohol is sugar. You can't get anything that's sugar-free alcohol. They refer to alcohol as liquid cake. If you think about getting a big sugary piece of cake, turn it into liquid, make it taste of fruit, and that's basically your alcohol. Well, if it's a fruity drink. In Dutch we call beer liquid bread. Exactly, yeah. And bread generally isn't, it's not bad for you, but generally it's not healthy to have a lot of bread. Because bread again is a lot of sugar, a lot of carbohydrates. So I personally have to limit or completely not eat bread, because my body just turns bread into all sugar, and I'm gaining weight that week if I'm eating bread. It's very rare that I eat bread in a week and not gain weight. So I have to be careful. I enjoy bread. Bread is nice. But yeah, liquid bread, definitely. Definitely some beers have got that much kind of wheat hops in them. But yeah, liquid cake. When you think of it, like if you don't mind having a little bit of cake, don't mind having a little bit of alcohol, it's all good. It's where it goes from there though. Like a little bit of cake becomes a bit more cake. Becomes, well, I've had cake. Why not have some chocolate? There you go, why not have some other snacks? So it's always that. It's always that. Let's make a dist X. Serialized field. Oh, so close. You're so close, Visual Studio. I wanted an X, not a Z, but good effort. Ah, more on the ball here. So we go dist X equals V3 F that's close enough for what we want. So dist X is V3F minus VCX. So I guess distance between the X's. Have you listened to some of... I have not. I have not actually listened to it. I was thinking about that yesterday though. I was thinking I should really listen to that. If it's all on YouTube, I might make myself a quick YouTube playlist and just hit play. Probably the easiest thing. So if Jeffrey mentioned already, but today I pet a puppy. He's now my friend. You anger me. One is on Bandcamp. Okay. Oh no, not the unhappy faces. No, Jeffrey's not mentioned the puppy. Awesome for puppy. Yeah, I'll put all the ones on YouTube onto a playlist, and I'll listen to the one on Bandcamp separately. No, I'm like, you give me anything to listen to or look at. Is that how I felt about puppy? Big smiles for puppy, angry faces for not listening to music. Bandcamp first, awesome. Yeah, I'll listen to that. I'll put all the other ones in a playlist and I'll just hit play and I'll do something else and listen. Because I'll get distracted otherwise. Right. I am gonna just throw this in there and go minus that. It might be a plus, I might have got the wrong things around, but we'll find out. And that's what the fun of this is. Yeah, I will listen to that kind of stuff on stream, but as I'm streaming on YouTube, it's going to get flagged. Likely to get flagged. Might not get flagged, but it's likely to get flagged. Hey, awesome. Look at that. Now, we'll watch it through. Because right at the end, they walk off the screen. Oh, it probably was the... Was it the X? No. We'll see what happens anyway. I like how the conversation box is like tilting up because the camera's up here. Is that hello? We're still talking. Okay, so let's see if I can work out what's happening here. So it's got the distance. And it's always taking distance off Y. Let's run that and have a look at the let's actually have a look at what the distance is going to be. So camera follow script. So these numbers should populate and they shouldn't change. It should always be taking the so it's minus 3.7 minus 2.3. I'm quite happy with this waypoint system. It could be improved. Certainly can be improved, but okay, so those numbers aren't changing, so it's not a problem with those numbers. So that we can guarantee that part of the maths is guaranteed. So I'm grabbing the camera position, grabbing the object position. So it should be the Y. Right, let's put them up here so I can see. We'll put them up here so we can actually see what's going on. Serialized field, private, vector free. And remove the declaration from down here. Go private. And remove the declaration from down here. Okay. Anything else we need to do? I'll write a little log thing here in case it is recalculating that somehow. So debug.log go saving dist y. So I should only see those messages once. If I see them more than once, we've got problems. And we should be able to see the values. There we go, we've got the values there as well then. It's great how it instantly updates. Right, we'll stop that. Hit save. And then we'll watch these numbers down here. Try again, not sure what happened there. So it's save distance X, save distance Y. Cool, they're saved. You can see obviously both sets are moving until that's moving, so interesting in the Z movement here. I suppose if the waypoints are exactly on the same Z positioning, that's going to change. This could be 4 minus minus 3.7. So that's right. So the camera, that's the right thing for the camera. Let's grab the camera. So 410. Of course can't change it because it goes running, isn't it? Oh, I can change that, can't I? I can untick a box. It's following. There we go. Good job I put that in there. Oh, so Y is up and down. Way off we go. So what I want is Z then. Okay. So I don't need to worry about the Y. Although, yeah, I can leave the Y in it. It's not going to hurt. I like the Battlefield 6 beta a lot, but it angers me. Oh, what about it angers you? What's going on? Long story short, EA connected an old email account to my PSN. I want to play it on PlayStation. Ah. But this provider doesn't even exist. Ah. Oh bollocks, yeah, that's a... that's the problem of linking stuff to old services. So now I play on PC, which is fine. PC is strong. Can't unlink it. That's annoying. I suppose you can't even make your own email for that, because it would be locked, wouldn't it? It's like if there was like, I don't know, cultmail.com or something, and that cultmail disappeared. If you can make your own cultmail.com, then you can get it back. That's a long way of doing it. I want to play it on the couch on TV, old school, yeah. Like PC elitist, that would call me crazy for not choosing my PC. That's just now. Oh yeah, there's something about just sitting on the couch with a controller, just going through it. My brother's got the best of both. He's got quite a strong computer, but he's built it in like a cube, and he has this cube sat next to his TV. And his wife's okay with this, of course. And yeah, whenever he wants to play something, he just flicks over to the HDMI for the PC, and he'll just sit there with a controller plugged into the PC and doing it. Would that be easy to recreate the email? In theory, if EA just has a, like for instance, cultakerkamori@cultmail.com, for instance, and it sends something to that, and you just happen to buy cultmail.com and then make your own email on it, then you could effectively capture those emails. But it depends if the provider still holds that web address. Like if, using an example of cultmail.com, if cultmail went under, but they still held onto the web address, even though they're not running it, they still own it and hold it, stopping you from registering, or somebody else has bought it, it becomes awkward. But that also means that if someone buys that domain and then sets up email addresses for a list of people's email addresses, they could access to all your old email, well, not the old email, any new emails going to that old address. But it depends how or why the provider went, and who owns that stuff now. But personally, I'd be interested to see if that web domain is held anywhere where it's up for sale. But that's a long-winded way to try and get hold of it. And possibly an email to EA if they can confirm your identity by other means. You might be able to get your email address changed. Because I did have a problem with EA a while back, where somebody got into my account, changed the email address and password, and basically locked me out of my EA account. You emailed them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got locked out of my email account. And I basically contacted EA and said, hey, someone's changed my password, locked me out, changed my email address. I can't get in. And I just answered some questions and stuff, and they go, okay, we can see, yeah, there's on our system that the email address and password was changed. And I confirmed a few other things that proved that it was my account. I can't remember what they were though. And said, well, I'll get it changed back over now, and I'll send you like a password reset to your current email address and get a new password in. It was on the phone basically. Any idea I got access? Not sure actually. Like, because I didn't hand over any details, so it wasn't social engineering. But I didn't have any I put two-factor on there now. And a better password. Maybe it was, I used the same password as something else, and that password got leaked, because my password did get leaked by one service I was using. I don't know which service, because I used the same password for a few things at the time. But my password got leaked. So possibly if I was using that password, they just tried it. And oh, we'll try this email and password combination, and they got in. But all my passwords are different now. And I have two-factor on most things, so it's not going to happen again. But yeah, it's likely it was my old password that was leaked. But it wasn't from EA. But I still have some services linked to that old password and email combination. And I get warnings, go, oh, your password's been leaked. I know. It's for a thing I don't use anymore. I have like hundreds of stuff I've signed up for. I don't use it. If they get in what they're going to find out my preferences on sort of what radio stations I like to listen to on one particular online radio thing. What are you going to do with that? So yeah, so there's a lot of things I've not updated because I just don't care. But anything I do care about, I've changed all my passwords to be different now. But yeah, I think that's how they got in. So I even got quite a scary email going, this is your password, I know your password. I'm going to hack all your things. And I was like, that's not my password anymore. I changed it like 6 months ago because it got leaked. And you just happen to come across that data now and think you're all smart and I've not actually bothered to change my password since the leak. As if I'm an idiot. But yeah. Somebody got hold of the database of passwords and oh, we're going to email everyone. Too late, dude. Way ahead of you. One of the best hacks I saw a lot on old online games like RuneScape or WoW was someone that would say the game auto blocks when you type in your password, yes. Or type it in the chat, it will automatically turn it all to stars. Yeah, it's mine. And then everyone just types their password in chat. You go, you idiots. I've seen that so many times. I think there'll be one or two people that jump in on that and go, oh look, yeah, it's right. Mine turns into stars as well. And just wait for the gullible one not to realise it and just... So yeah, I've seen that a few times on WoW. One friend that sometimes comes to your streams. That one, yes. Fell for it. Oh, Facebook. Oh no, I've seen it on Facebook. I've not seen anyone fall for it on Facebook. But anyone who knows anything about computers would know that your password is not stored. If it's any service worth anything, any service will not know your password. Like, they will not know the password. They just know what your password translates to. So when you type it in, it'll do a encryption conversion on your password, match it to the encrypted version they have of your password, which they can't re-uncrypt. You can't uncrypt it. Once it's encrypted, but if you take your password and then encrypt it, then compare the two encrypted passwords, and then it'll let you in. And that's how it works. That's why you can't ask Facebook for your password. They don't know what your password is. They just have an encrypted bit of coding that represents your password. And when you type it in, it just compares what happens to it. So yeah, it's nothing that if a service could block your password, it means your password was never secure, because they would have to know what it is. That's why you always have a password reset option, because there's no other way that you have to say, well, make a new password. We don't know what your password is. You just have to make a new one. Yeah, password encryption is an interesting thing. Not really done too much of it at work. Because thankfully, anything we have at work isn't sensitive. For anything I code, anything I write in Visual Studio at work isn't sensitive data. So we just have like basic password systems to let people in. Just basically stop other people from logging in as other people. If they really wanted to, they could probably work something out, but you would need access to my code. And my code is firmly on my laptop. So I have to make sure that laptop is safe and secure at all times. But so other than that, as long as I keep my laptop secure, everyone else is secure. And again, even if it's not secure, there's nothing sensitive. All you have access to is a single ID number. And this, for keeping it tidy, I'm just going to move this if statement up one. And then we'll copy Y. And make that a Z. Go Z, Z. And go FZ minus dist Z. And what have we not done up here? Oh, we not put the dist Z in here. That's probably what we were doing. But yeah, I remember people trolling stuff like whole things like, oh, did you know? There's a secret shortcut that gives you more gold if you press Alt F4. And you see how many people quit the game. And you obviously get people that don't know keyboard shortcuts from Windows. Doesn't work on the Mac though, I don't think. Don't think Alt F4 on the Mac? I don't know. Right, we'll leave it on there, we'll give that a save. We'll run that and we'll see the camera moving. So record the distance X, distance Y, distance Z. Thank you everyone for joining in today. It's nice to see so many of you. I can see you all lurking. Do appreciate that. So I've now made this camera following script. Awesome, it works. There you go. Now I've made this camera following script. I can just reuse that for any static angle camera. I just want it to move. What I could probably do if I have a separate script that will move where the camera's, which positioning the camera is. Like if I have like a game controller plugged in, I move where the camera is and then continue to follow the player based on where I move the camera to. This script should still work. I just need to reset the distance numbers upon moving the camera. So I would need to work that out. But as it is, this script can be reused for anything that needs to follow something. But I'm happy with that. I can now, I'll comment these debugs out because we don't need to know those. But we'll leave them in. Nothing wrong with leaving them in the code as long as they're commented out. So that's basically we've just fixed the way the camera works, and I can apply the camera to more things now. What I would need to do ideally is to check if any other of these have got following, because only one of these can be following at any one time. But I'm only using one instance of this script at the moment, so that's not a main thing. So what I will need to do at some stage is write a bit of extra bit that if this is set to true, all others are set to false. Like I need to do like a check for all instances, turn them to false, and then set it true. But if I make a function, we'll do this now. Public void, and let's go stop following. Following's false. Yes, Visual Studio today is on the ball. It's on the ball. It's not been 100%, but it's been on the ball for most of it. So I can just call this now stop following, and it'll be it'll stop following. We'll do another one. Public. It's scary. It knows exactly what I want to type. Return following. Yes. It knows my next move. This AI is and it says built into Visual Studio. It's just guess what I want to do. So yeah, we've got two functions. We can see if it is being followed, and then we can stop following. So that's in there. There'll probably be something else, like a controller maybe. I'll find every instance of the camera follow script. Maybe. I don't know. It's not a concern right now. What I was doing was actually making sure these were having proper conversation windows. The whole point of this stream was to work on the conversation thing, not the camera. But we've made progress. We've done something that's useful. So a quick drink of water. I've been yapping quite a lot today. What are we looking like? 10:40. We're at 10:40 at the moment. Probably go on for another 20 minutes at most. So let's make sure this fella here has everything he needs for handling character dialogue. So he needs a character dialogue script applied to him. Let's get to scripts. Character dialogue. There we go. Character dialogue. There we go. And we'll put the speech bubble into there. Now, I could script this to be a bit more automatic. So rather than me having to drag it into this box, which is basically just a setup for it, I could have some script in here that will look for any canvas speech bubbles in the child of the object it's attached to, and then automatically assign it. But yeah, for now. Possibly for my big project I will do that. Kind of just make it mostly kind of automatic handling. So I'd like to try and write a game in such a way that I made the objects pretty much self-sufficient. That I don't have to think too much about, oh, I need to do this to make this work, I need to do that to make that work. It just works. And if it's not working, it means it doesn't have something to work with, not that I've forgotten to do something to make it work. Like in this instance, if I didn't give him a speech bubble, that the speech bubble script won't run, but it won't also break either. It just won't run because he doesn't have a speech bubble. Or, even better, the speech bubble is actually part of the script anyway. Like, it will make a speech bubble for the character. That's probably even better. I will make the speech bubble a prefab, and then the script will give the character a speech bubble. See, that's even better. Like, I don't even have to worry about giving the character a speech bubble. Once the script is on the character, it has a speech bubble. So yeah, that's probably a better way of doing it. But I wouldn't have thought of that unless I did it the wrong way first. So it's important to try, even if it feels like the wrong way to do stuff. But yeah, it's got a speech bubble, character dialogue script now. We can get rid of the camera follows. So a quick look at character dialogue. So that grabs that into speech bubble. Speech bubbles. Speech bubble speech. Speech bubble. Speech bubble. Okay, yeah, so I have to supply, at the moment I'm having to supply the speech bubble. It then grabs that as a speech bubble. Yeah, so I'd have another bit of code here that actually pulls the speech bubble object, creates it, and then grabs it in this process. But I'm manually doing that bit here, which I could make it automatic. So that's just like an extra little bit of coding if I want to make it automatic. That's cool. That's working there fine. That's all good there. We'll leave it up on there. We'll hit save before we carry on. So the next stage, we go back to the trigger. So we need to make a conversation. So we've got a conversation here. So the conversation holds dialogue. No, I've not made a dialogue. If I create a dialogue. New dialogue. Let's go. Go dia test 1, and that just has some text, and just call that hello, this is a test dia 1. Probably need to make that box a bit bigger. Probably something we can do. So we go enter. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we might have to think about how that's done, because trying to write dialogue into that little box, probably not great. But that'll be a piece of dialogue. Now I'll drag in some audio into that as well. Do we have... Did I drag in the audio? Audio, there it is. Thought my new amplifier had problems, by the way. Oh dear. Turned itself off after 15 minutes. Oh, was it playing anything? Or just like sleep? So many things have sleep functions these days. Yes, playing. Oh, that's not good. It felt cold. Oh dear. Wasn't overheating. That's a good start. Turned out I had eco mode on max meant auto turn off every 50. What? Eco mode? Why is that an option? At what point do you want an entertainment system that is currently doing something to turn itself off after 15 minutes? Like, no, I can't. Yeah. So that's turned off. All's fine. How weird. Like I don't understand. Like TVs, you can set a like a sleep mode, because my TV has it. But I set it to like 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours, might be 4 hours. I think my TV is. Cause I'm using a TV as a main screen. Like what you're seeing there is my TV. Because it's already on the wall, so I've got my PC plugged into it. But yeah, that's my TV, and that turns itself off after 4 hours. I can turn it off, but I know I'm likely to walk away and forget to turn it off. So I've set that, and it will come up on the screen. Oh, turning the TV off after not pushing buttons, because it expects me to be using a remote control constantly. Because, well, you've just been watching your PC for 4 hours without interacting with the TV directly. We've got to turn this off now. So if you ever see me streaming and I just bring my TV remote and do something, that's because it's threatening to turn itself off mid-stream. Yeah. But I could turn it off, but I find it useful sometimes. Especially if I leave it on when I'm asleep by accident. And wake up, it's turned off. So all good. Right, so we have a dialogue. So the way I've created this system so far is that each line of dialogue has its own dialogue object. So NPC 1 says something, NPC 2 says something, and the two things they say are separate dialogue. So NPC 1 says diode test 1, NPC 2 will say diode test 2, NPC 1 will then say diode test 3, NPC 2 will say diode test 4, and so on, and then just go back and forth going test 5, test 6, test 7, test 8. And now I have just all these things along here. So I'll probably make a folder for dialogues. So I can put each dialogue will have the actual text and an audio recording of that line. And then the conversation will then have a list of these dialogues. So it'll be test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5. And what this will do, it will open this and just run through that list, going through each one. And at the same time, and then have a list of characters. So NPC 1, NPC 2, NPC 1, NPC 2. There's probably going to be a better way of doing it. Maybe I put the NPC into the dialogue. So it'd be text, audio, and then NPC. But my fear of doing it that way is that NPC would not necessarily be on the screen, and this object needs to exist outside of the scene. So it needs to just be existing regardless. So that's the only problem with that. Whereas this conversation will be here. So we've got a conversation on the side here. So I have a list of conversations that all exist within the scene, and the conversation will hold the NPCs, and then the dialogues. There's bound to be a better way of doing that. Maybe the NPCs have an ID number, and that number is, the NPC will have the ID number on them, like a little card. So they carry a conversation card, and this will have a conversation card, and then it will link the two together. So it's not directly connected to this actual physical NPC. And that's probably a better way of doing it. But I would have to know all the NPCs that I have, and then give them all like an ID card, and then the conversation will look for that ID card and go, ah, he's the one carrying this card, he's the one that's saying this line. And I've literally come up with that solution as the words have left my mouth. So it's good to talk about these things. You work complicated stuff out. So that's probably the better way of doing it, rather than actually linking the physical NPCs to the conversation. You just say, well, play like NPC player character 1337 says this, and then you just give that ID number to whatever player you want, which allows you to then swap NPCs over. And they go, actually NPC 1 was going to look like this, but I've decided he's actually a king now. And you just give that card to a king, and the king now carries that card. I want to look at getting the art for this again. Can you give me resolution you want again? Sure, I'll send it over. Because that's on the main menu, isn't it? I can get that now, actually. Let's have a look. Save that. Let's go to scenes. Scene, main menu. Oh, there it is. Looks massive on here. So the ratio is your typical screen. Oh, I've actually got this set as so resolution reference. So we've just got 1920 by 1080. So just HD. Is what that's working on there. Well, the actual image though. The image I've got, strangely, I've got the image as 1024 by 745, so it's been stretched to fit this, but the actual screen will be full HD 1080 by 1920 by 1080, but even if it's like half HD, as long as it's these dimensions, like this, like a screen resolution, like a screen. As long as it's those ratio for a screen, it doesn't have to be exactly this quality. As long as it's scalable to that size. It means it won't stretch it then. So I can't remember what the... Is it 720 by... Can't remember what the 720 is. Cool, send in Discord so I won't forget. Okie dokie. Oh, just seen the cage popper. So I'm going to write it in this 1905. Yeah. So as long as it's that ratio, it doesn't have to be that exact size, but as long as it's scalable, because I would like it to work on like a HD screen. But yeah, it could actually be like a quarter of the size, but when it stretches out to fill the screen, as long as it doesn't look stretched. But it don't need to be too complicated. I know you like drawing the brickwork and stuff. But this AI image hasn't gone too hard on that. The main details over here. And if AI was actually able to make trebuchets, then I'll be sticking with this book. It hasn't done a bad job, it's just that it can't do the correct stuff on there. I got my new assistant to add in the details that will mouse army. Cool. Makes sense. Yeah, so I don't want to fully hate for the AI image in this really, but enhanced images are okay. I say this image isn't bad, but so particularly it's not really soldiers that are firing, because it's come up with soldiers here. It's more villagers that are firing at the castle. So it's not really like an army siege. It's more like these are people that don't have a lot of money. They're wearing cloth. The fact they have a trebuchet is because they've stolen it. Stolen. They've stole the trebuchet, and they're firing at the what's over there? Firing it at the people that actually have money. Whee! That's this nice little village here. Right, as it's hit 11 o'clock, I think I'll wrap the stream up there. Next week? Yeah, next week, next Friday I shall carry on this. Monday I might not be around on Monday. Let's look at timings. So when's that? I might be. It'll be 5. Cool. Just let me know the date itself. Will do. Yeah, because There's a new store opening, like a new food store opening in town. And I got like, it opens on Tuesday, but I can go in on the Monday and get a discount. So I'm going to go after work on Monday, have a look around, buy some food, and then come home. So I might still make it for stream. But yeah, I'll let you know if I'm running late or it's not going to happen. But have a good night, great weekend. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for being here. It was epic. Cool. Let me know. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for joining us today. Have a good weekend. No problem. I'll talk to you both later. Enjoy your weekend as well. Hope you have a nice, relaxing weekend, whatever you're doing. I'm going to switch over to the main camera before I sign off. There we are. Yeah, thank you all for joining us. I've enjoyed today's stream. We made progress. It never feels like I've done a lot, but if you considered I've worked some things out, come up with some ideas are still progressing, even if the ideas don't physically show. Yeah, made good progress. But I'm going to get some rest now. Hope you do too. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a good weekend. And I should be back on Monday. I should let people know in the Discord. And then Wednesday and Friday next week we'll be carrying on with dev stuff. I shall see you then. Hope you have a good night. Good night.